You don't need a smoker or any fancy equipment to make the best ribs, not with this method. These ribs come off the grill perfectly caramelized on the outside, but wonderfully tender on the inside, and you can eat them right off the bone. And they have the best smoky flavor. I'm Christina with eatingonadime.com, and we love easy and affordable recipes. Let's get cooking. Today, we are gonna make the most tender ribs on the grill. My name's Christina. I'm with eatingonadime.com. Welcome to my sister's kitchen. I'm over here showing you guys how to make the best grilled ribs. So if you are new to our site, my sister Carrie and I are on a mission to help real families eat real food at home, even on a budget. And sometimes we want to eat a little bit fancier foods like ribs, so we love cooking those at home instead of spending tons of money at a restaurant. So today I'm going to show you how to make the best ribs on the grill. It's starting to get warmer here in Oklahoma, which means we want to grill as much as possible. Let me know in the comments below if you are already grilling or not and what the weather's been like in your area. We love hearing from you guys. Okay, I apologize for my voice. I'm still getting over a little bug that I'm trying to shake off. I am healthy. I just have some residual stuff in my voice. So, all right, as always, guys, I have linked this recipe in the description below. Make sure you check that out. I've also linked for you guys our grilling digital cookbook. So if you love grilling, check that out as well. All right, let's get these ribs cooking. So for today's recipe, I am using baby back ribs. We are going to use 2 racks, which is around 4 to 5 pounds. So we have 2 racks of these. The most important step in cooking ribs, in my opinion, is getting the membrane off the back of the ribs. So you want to get that membrane off so that that meat can get cooked nice and tender. And I like my ribs where they're like falling off the bone. I don't want them tough and hard to eat off the bone. So now when looking at the ribs, you have this front side, which is meat side, and then you're gonna have a, I'm gonna call it like a bone side. The membrane is on this back bone side. So this is the membrane right here. And actually this rib is kind of started for me. So what I like to do is get this butter knife and push it down and get that membrane off so you can get your finger under it. And just use your hands, guys. Sometimes you have to get a paper towel if it's nice and slimy. You just really want to work at that end and get it pulled up. Okay, so I finally got it lifted. It is a patience game. Just work at it until you get that lifted. You can use a paper towel because it is kind of slimy, so it gives you a better grip. So once you get it, you just want to pull it completely off the back of the ribs. So I have to do a second round, but the second one's always easier. So just pull it off. Now removing this is going to make the ribs super tender. So even though it might feel like a lot of work, it only takes about 5 to 10 minutes and it's worth it. I got the other membrane removed on the other rack of ribs and we're going to set that aside. Now we're going to prepare our seasoning mixture. This is what really brings the flavor to the ribs, so it's super important. I like to mix the seasoning all together in a mixing bowl and then rub it onto the ribs instead of just sprinkling it on the ribs. That way we make sure they're evenly distributed throughout and you don't have one that's like too sweet or one that's too spicy, all of that. All right, so first we're gonna start with 2 tablespoons brown sugar. And then we're gonna do a tablespoon of paprika. My sister has these adorable little seasoning jars. I'm gonna link these in the description below in case you're interested, as well as these measuring spoons, which are awesome because they measure on both sides, so you can use them a ton without being dirty. All right, next up is salt. 2 teaspoons salt. It may seem like a lot, guys, but we got 2 racks of rib. We need a lot. A teaspoon of black pepper. A teaspoon of garlic powder. 1 teaspoon of onion powder. And remember, you don't need to write these down. I've linked this recipe below in the description, so you can just reference that when you guys are ready to try this at home. And now we're gonna do a 1/2 teaspoon cumin and a 1/2 teaspoon chili powder. And just stir them all together in your bowl so that it makes like a rub, if you will. I call it a seasoning mixture in the recipe, but some people will call it like a rub because we are going to rub it onto the ribs. So if you hear the puppies in the background, my sister Carrie and I have brother and sister puppies, and they're really cute, but sometimes when we're cooking, they get really vocal. So I apologize in advance for that. Now we're gonna get these ribs into like a foil pack. So the reason I do a foil pack on the grill is because I want to start out and let these ribs cook nice and slow. And the foil pack helps keep that heat in without letting the outside get too brown. So just get a large piece of foil, and we're going to put one rack of ribs right in the center of it. And then we're going to rub the outside with some olive oil. It's about a tablespoon per rack of ribs. I'm just drizzling it on top and rubbing it around with a basting brush just to make sure it gets completely covered. And you do want to do both sides. And if you need a little bit more based on the size of your rack of ribs, maybe it's a little longer, a little wider, that's fine as well. But we don't want it super oily. We just want it to where it's going to act like a glue for this seasoning mixture. Then take your seasoning mixture and we're just going to sprinkle it on top. I sprinkle it and then rub it in with the basting brush just to make sure that it stays on the meat. And again, you want to do both sides of the ribs. So since you're doing 2 slats, you kind of want to eyeball it and only use half on this one, and then we'll use half the seasoning mixture on the other slats of rib. But it doesn't have to be an exact science, so don't like measure it out or overthink it. That's something that I totally would have done 7 years ago before I started testing tons of recipes. And now I know when we have to be exact and when we don't. Most of the time, baking is our only exact category, but grilling, crock potting, all that, they're super forgiving. Now we're going to tent it around the ribs. Here's the thing, you do not want it tight, like a blanket. You want it a tent. So think like camping tent, not blanket. So to do the tent, what I do is I just bring it up at the top together and then just kind of roll it down a little bit. You're wanting a nice loose packet, not tightly covered, and that way the heat can still get in there and still cook the ribs. Now I'm going to gently roll in the ends as well, just to keep the heat in our little tent, not blanket, remember, tent, not blanket. All right, so what you want to do now is let this rest for about 15 to 30 minutes before you put it on the grill. And the reason we do that is you want it to be at room temperature before you grill. If you go from really cold to really hot, it can really affect the tenderness of the ribs. So trust me on this, the long game is going to be worth it. Let it rest for a little bit, and while it's resting, we're going to get that grill preheated. Preheat the grill to 300 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, for grilling the ribs, you want to create an indirect heat zone. To do that, we're going to preheat the entire grill, and then we're going to turn off half the burners so it doesn't get as much heat in that zone. So the grill's been preheating. Right now it's kind of high. You want it to be at 300 for the best results, but we're going to create an indirect heat zone. So what that means is you want to turn half the grill off. So I'm going to turn these burners to off over here. And this is the side that we're going to place the ribs on so they don't get overcooked. The grill is officially ready. So you just want to take your cute little rib foil packs and put them on the indirect heat zone. And we're going to let these cook for 1 to 2 hours until they're about 180 to 190 degrees Fahrenheit internal temperature. Just a reminder, this half of the grill is still on. I have it on low because it's going to give the heat, and then it will cook the ribs on the off side. So that's how you create an indirect heat zone on your grill. So it's been cooking for about an hour. You want to be real careful when you unwrap the foil. Don't mind my friend Toby back here. He's just talking to you. And then you want to use an instant read meat thermometer. My sister and I love, love, love ours. And you want to check the temperature, and you want it to be between 180 to 190. See, get into the meat there. That's when it's going to be the most tender meat. So we are almost there. This probably just needs about 10 more minutes and it's ready to move onto the grill. It's been cooking for a few more minutes and I checked the temperature and it's reached about 185. So now you want to carefully move the rack of ribs from the foil onto the direct grill grates. So here's the second one. We are moving these. You can touch the foil, it's just hot, so be careful because some of that brown sugar will caramelize. Sugar will caramelize and sometimes it'll cause the bone to stick. But we're gonna move these over now onto the direct heat side of the grill. So these burners are on, but you do wanna still keep it on low so that they don't get too brown. So that brown sugar will caramelize and sometimes it'll cause the bone to stick. But we're going to move these over now onto the direct heat side of the grill. So these burners are on, but you do want to still keep it on low so that they don't get too brown. Then baste the ribs with barbecue sauce of your preference. We're going to baste this first side and then flip it. If you're new to like grilling and basting just means rub the sauce onto the protein or the beef. So I like using a basting brush because I can keep my hands pretty clean and it does a good job. You just want to, I use it as a spoon too, and just get the barbecue sauce and rub it on the outside of the ribs. So once you've basted this top side, go ahead and flip them over and we're going to do the same thing on the bottom. And we want to grill both sides anyway to caramelize the sauce. So this side will start cooking. And we're going to baste the back side of the ribs as well. Now we're going to let it grill on direct heat for 2 to 3 minutes on each side to really caramelize that sauce. So you want to make sure it stays around 300 degrees so that it doesn't get too brown. This side has been cooking for a few minutes. Ooh, look at that sauce, how quickly it caramelizes. We're going to go ahead and flip these and we want the same effect on the other side. Maybe. Oh, they're starting to get tender. That's a good sign, guys. Let's see if I can flip these a little bit more gracefully here. There we go. So this is the sauce caramelized. I'm not going to do it as long. It looks like the grill's running hotter back here. So I'm just going to move it over a little bit and we're just going to let it cook on this side for a few more minutes. So it's been cooking for a few more minutes and they look perfect. We're going to go ahead and pull them off the grill. I'm just going to place them on this platter. Woo, almost lost that one. Now that they're cooked through, it's okay to stack them. And we're going to bring these inside and cover them and let them rest. So now you want to just cover them with foil. And we're going to do what we call let them rest. And if you're new to grilling, let them rest means what it sounds like. You let it sit. I want to keep the heat in. That's why I'm covering it with foil. We're going to let it set for about 15 to 20 minutes and then they're ready to serve. They're ready. Rest time is officially over. Let's cut these ribs and try them out. Now, when I cut my ribs, I like to just cut them in single bone servings. Some people do 2 bones, but that's not me. But if that's you, you do you. Cut them however you like. And so when I say bone serving, if you look at the rib, you can see the bone sticking out. I just slice in between each bone, because imagine the bone is like your handle for eating the ribs. So it makes it really easy for serving them. So okay, let's start with this one first. You just want to take a large knife, put it on a cutting board, and just slice between each bone, and you will have your servings. All right, so just cut in between the bone right here. Now the ribs are very tender now. When you first take them out of the foil, you might be like, these don't seem tender enough, but that extra grilling time really helps seal the deal. So trust the process. And then they're ready to serve and enjoy. Now when I serve them, I always like to serve with extra barbecue sauce so that like if you have people that don't like super saucy ribs, they're happy. And then if you like people that like really barbecue saucy ribs, they can always add more as well. You guys, these are so amazing. You are gonna love it. I cannot wait to try these. The It's perfect. I have always been a fan of cooking my ribs in the crock pot because it does make them more tender, but it almost makes it where you can't hold it up because the meat just falls off. These grilled ribs, they're still tender, but they're not falling off the bone. So it makes them super easy to eat, which I love, and perfect for your favorite summertime barbecue. If you are wondering what to serve with your ribs, don't worry, we are already one step ahead of you. We have a whole post on our favorite sides for ribs. I'm gonna link that in the description below for you guys. Okay, I gotta get out of here because I got some more ribs to eat. Thank you guys so much for joining me today in my sister's kitchen. Don't forget, I've linked the best grill rib recipe in the description below, as well as our grilling cookbook. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave us a comment so you never miss one of our easy recipes. Bye friends, have a great day. And that's how you make the most tender, juicy ribs on your grill at home. If you try out this method, please come back and let me know in the comments below how they turn out for you. And if you're obsessed with easy recipes, just like we are, do not miss our next video. Thanks for joining me, friends, in my kitchen. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.